In our quest for an ancient Egyptian ale, Florence and I find ourselves in modern-day Cairo, Egypt.
Crazy. I love it.
Leading the expedition, our guide, Ramy Romany, an expert on life in Egypt, past and present.
Yeah. Look over.
We're on a research mission to understand the process of beer making in ancient Egypt. Ramy's driving us to the outskirts of Cairo, but getting there is half the adventure.
Wow, look at that guy.
The horses and donkeys, why can they go against traffic and cars have to go one way?
We're in Egypt. That means your mother is a prostitute.
No! Oh, that is...
I swear to God that is.
Ramy, have you ever gotten in accidents in downtown Cairo?
Yeah, I would say once a week.
Okay.
Hey, he just told you that your mom is a prostitute.
This is the Nile.
Look at this.
We're now crossing over the Nile.
Wow.
As we head towards adventure, the road gets rougher.
It's a shortcut. Yeah, we're good.
And bumpier and narrower.
I just hit a wall.
Until we finally hit the edge of ancient Egypt.
It's like the city ended and we're in the middle of nowhere.
We're headed to the land of the dead to find out what the mummies were drinking 4,000 years ago.
Beer back then was not just for adults to go back home and get smashed. That was not the case. Everyone used to drink beer. Rather than drinking water straight from the Nile, which is really bad for you, you wouldn't want to be working, carrying 5-ton stones on your back, and then going and eating dry bread. You want to eat and drink at the same time, which is beer. You just have the beer. It's clean, it's good, it's nutritious.
Is a point I've been making. Beer is a food group.
The word bread in ancient Egypt meant life too. The word bread, ta, meant life. And at the ancient Egyptian times, they would say, ta hunkut, bread and beer.
Ta hunka.
Ta hunkut.
Ta hunkut.
Hunkut.
Ta hunkut, bread and beer.
Ta hinkut.
Yes.
What about that as the name of our beer that we make in Egypt?
That's an idea.
I like the idea of people in Delaware saying, I'll have a ta hinkut.
Okay,
Which is
let's do it.
sustenance.
And you should call it Ramy too.
I'll get back to you on that one, brother. Ramy's ta hinkut.
Hey, we should go have beer right now.
A liquid lunch. I am parched, Ramy. I'm parched. Imagine what that beer tasted like when that dude put that top rock on that pyramid in the sun. It was like, boom, it is done. How good did that beer taste?
He probably deserved it more than all the beers we've had in our entire life.
The Nile may be cool, but the bread and beer debate is just heating up.
Scientific evidence doesn't back up that the bread was in the beer.
Why would they have chosen to depict all of that on those walls?
They are so intertwined that...
Which can be explained. Explained because Egypt is bracketed in between the Near East, which has bread beer, and Nubia, which has bread beer.
Breweries tried to make it before that way, and it tastes horrible. Okay, and I know that apparently is
our
relative.
modern flavor.
I can't accept that the most powerful people in the world drank crap beer for 5,000 years.
The debate that we've been embracing passionately and with brotherly love tonight is about whether beer was made with bread or they were two separate staples of the diet of the ancient Egyptians. We certainly know they're both really important to them, but whether they were actually combined in the process is something that is going to be part of our exploration of this ancient beverage.
Dough was obviously the magic thing for them. We know what yeast is now, but a lot of people have never known that they did know that putting this with the other mixture that it would start.
Should we incorporate bread into the making of this beer?
I vote for bread.
I think you have to because the pictorial evidence seems to be so strong that you have to prove it wrong.
By proving it wrong, you mean make a bad beer?
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds like we got a majority thinking yes, they were combined.
Cheers to the best ancient Egyptian beer yet to be made.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Uh-oh, we got a bit of a log jam.
Now it's time to get wild. We're going to capture wild yeast on location here in Egypt.
Ramy is taking us into the heart of wild yeast terroir.
Sounds like we're going yeast hunting.
We are yeast hunting.
We're headed to a date farm to set our yeast traps.
We very much want an agricultural area because yeast is much stronger and it's alive. I think this is a good area if I see a lot of fruit.
All the giant trees pregnant with clusters of dates. That definitely means it's an environment that could be rich with yeast.
And after all, we're right next to the pyramid. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Whoa, I didn't see that.
There's no guarantee that our plan will work, but if we can collect yeast that's alcohol tolerant, we have the potential of creating something totally unique that's never been done before.
Wow, I think we're there.
In order to capture wild yeast, Florence brought along a kit with collection dishes that will set up in potentially yeast-rich spots on this date plantation.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Do you want me to carry you over?
You can't do a roll-on
On
over
a tree.
bridge.
Are you okay, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, alrighty. We're good.
We prepped the Petri dishes with nutrient-rich agar and smushed dates, the perfect yeast food.
These are gorgeous dates right off of the trees. All that activity there is mold, yeast. That's exactly the environment that we're looking for.
We top it all off with a perfume that yeast-bearing flies find irresistible, isoamyl nitrate.
I just want to say this is the strangest picnic I've ever imagined I'd be on. Donkey's very excited about our expedition.
If you can be under the tree.
We're looking for areas that might be rich in fruit. I'm going to go around the back. Excuse me, ladies.
We'll leave our Petri dishes out overnight so they'll absorb as much yeast, mold, bacteria, and whatever else the balmy night air has to offer, in the hopes that we'll catch an alcohol-tolerant yeast strain. Yeast is airborne and around us almost all the time, but we only want brewer's yeast.
So you're definite on this piece of cotton right now, there is yeast, but you're not sure if that yeast is the brewing beast or not.
There are maybe 12 different yeasts around here in the air. Our game is just finding the brewing one.
We need the beast yeast.
Yeah. Perfect.
Florence and I need to stay focused on the task at hand. He's taking our yeast samples to a special lab in Belgium, while I head to Cairo's largest and oldest market. This is my chance to research ingredients native to Egypt, herbs and spices we would never be able to find back home.
This is where creative intuition comes in. This is the part of recipe building that I'm pretty good at, so I'm stoked to hit that market.
This is called the Spice Street. It's one of the biggest spice markets in Egypt.
This market assaults your senses.
I think if that is one of the ingredients for a beer, come on, no one has lizards in his beer. You'll be the only one. That is deer fat. It's very good for your sexual organs.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll be as good as Egyptians in bed.
Okay. Okay, is that good?
Oh, don't. We're famous, dude. We're really famous.
Fooling around aside, I find my first ingredient for our ancient Egyptian ale.
But this is it. That is dome.
Dome.
And dome
That's
are
palm.
palm sugar.
Explosively sweet and kind of tart at the same moment.
We have evidence in the botanical record going back 16,000 years ago. So this is a great candidate for adding to our early Egyptian
It
beer.
would have been historically and geographically relevant. This is like my front runner right now as an ingredient. All right, what else should we at this one?
Chamomile.
Okay.
Chamomile. Anduk chamomile.
All right.
Ancient Egyptians called chamomile the herb of the sun. It was used to embalm the dearly departed to prepare them for their final journey into the afterlife.
Smells kind of like appley chewing tobacco. I dig it.
Yeah, I think it is nice.
Dr. Pat suggests we use zatar. It's a mixture that includes thyme, oregano, and marjoram.
This is what I think would be really nice.
I get lemon and mint.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just such a great spice.
Do you think we should do this instead of chamomile?
You could do both.
And they're both equally accurate in era and geography?
Yeah.
And the flavors on this beer are definitely going to be more exotic because of the wild yeast approach. So I think these kind of herbal, spicy notes are going to complement the spicy wild yeast notes.
We kind of went into it blind and learned a lot here as far as the ingredients that were available in 2400 BC.
The spicy day of shopping, it was awesome. These are not things I've worked with before, so really what we need to do is some testing, some tinctures, in essence make little teas with each of these individual spices in the beer so we get an idea of how it works. So we're gonna go and have a few beers right now in the name of science. Let's do chamomile first. This, I think, will be the most subtle of the three. It's nice.
It all has kind of a sleepy quality.
Evening beverage.
Chamomile has good aroma, but I want this beer to have a little kick.
Let's go on to Dom. has a caramely, smoky, earthy flavor. Adds both sweetness and bitterness at the same time. I like that. I'm really looking forward to seeing how these two work together.
Next up, we try the Zatar and see what that brings to the table.
Ooh, yeah, that's potent. I get a lot of lemon and pepper flavors.
God, that's not good.
This is your least favorite?
I hate this.
You know what's wonderful is all of our palates are different, and we can drink the same thing and have a different experience.
It's just not my cup of beer.
Ramy's protest aside, I think the ingredients will work together beautifully in the right ratio.
Cheers to Dom, chamomile, and Za'atar.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Now it's time to head back to Dogfish and brew Tahenket, our ancient Egyptian ale.